What is up, guys? Abixis here with a low energy Overwatch tier list. I'm a little tired today. I'm not feeling great, but I'm going to try to get this one done for you guys for season 11. I'm a little late already, so I didn't want to waste any more time. Starting with the characters that are still in C tier, we got Doomfist. Doomfist feels as per usual. I haven't felt great about recommending him. Again, this is for low elo, so if you're some Doomfist master, go ahead and play him, but for the most part, your time is better spent elsewhere. Reaper, like the little Reaper buffs we got, but honestly doesn't make him feel too much more impactful than he did. Keeping him in C tier for you guys right now. Symmetra as well. Don't find her to be all that impactful. There's been some buffs. I haven't had a chance to play with them too much yet. Honestly, you know what? We're gonna put her in B for now. I think the buffs the buffs are pretty good, but overall, don't find her to be like the best pick to play. She just tends to be there tends to be better picks. Wrecking Ball still C tier. Honestly, one of the easiest picks to troll with if you're not careful. Watch how much value you're getting. Know when to switch with Wrecking Ball, please. You could do a lot better than him. Junkrat C tier. I'm going to put Junkrat in C tier as well, but he is more of a niche pick if you're playing into a Rhine or something like a Shield. I've had moments where Junkrat ends up being really good. Overall, though, I find myself switching to Junkrat as a last-ditch resort to try to get some big damage when we're not doing enough damage, and it never ends up working as well as picking something more consistent. So keep him in the C tier where he belongs, in my opinion. Mercy, still think Mercy's C. She's just you're better off with some other picks once again, which I'll talk about soon. I can't see. I've zoomed in a little bit, so I'm going to skip some of the other C tier picks now. Going to some B tiers. Torbjorn, situationally good, great in like bronze, especially if people don't shoot the turret. But as you climb the ranks, I find him less and less impactful, which is why I struggle to recommend him. Could do a lot worse, but honestly, just play something a little bit higher tier, and you'll be just fine. Briggs Eye, once again, nothing really wrong with Brigida, just better options. Most people, I believe, in the game are playable to a pretty decent extent. It's just there are some picks that I view as better than others. 76, he's fine. Don't find him to be all that broken or bad. He's just fine. Okay, so let's talk about McCree, Cole Cassidy, whatever you want to call him. Guy had a pretty decent set of changes. Kind of hard to interpret if you're not actually reading in depth into it. Honestly, I think he's still pretty good, but they definitely changed a decent amount with him, so I'm going to put him in the B tier. Alari's B tier. Alari's been one of those characters so far that has been feast or famine in the meta. She's gone from ridiculously overpowered to extremely weak to kind of where I think she's at now, which is just fine. Can't really blame you for picking her, but honestly, there are some better choices. Zenyatta stays in the B tier. Zenyatta in low elo, I always have trouble with. Please, 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 as per always, know when to switch off of this character. Great value into certain matchups, can be an absolute game changer, but also can be an absolute throw pick if you need more healing. Widowmaker, great Widow, big damage, but overall I haven't found Widow to be that impactful since the health pool changes. You could still play her really well if you're good at her. I'm not, so I don't ever play her, and I also just don't recommend her to low elo players. To be honest with you, there's just a lot better options across the board to pick, meta-wise, and just overall value you're going to get being somebody learning the game or getting better at it. Venture honestly is the opposite of Widow. I love playing Venture. I think Venture's super fun. I play them a ton, but I can't in good faith recommend them as like somebody that you should be picking up and just pounding with low elo. Particularly due to the fact that she gets abused in a lot of different matchups, and there are just some things about her that I feel like you can do a lot better. Once again, that's the moral of the B tier. You could do better. Sombra, once again, situational pick. There are a lot of good Sombra situations. There are a lot of bad Sombra situations. Pick her reluctantly into certain matchups. Hanzo could either be B or high C. Still feel like since Overwatch 2 has come out in general, he has never completely found his place, but it's still not really like a throw pick. He's just okay. Junker Queen. I honestly thought Junker Queen's buff would be pretty big, but it ends up feeling just kind of solid. It's a little bit negligible compared to what I thought it would feel like, but I actually played quite a bit of Junker Queen and find her quite effective, once again, in certain matchups, but don't expect to just pick her every game and absolutely roll people. Zarya moves up to the B tier. Been feeling a lot better with the Zarya pick recently. People seem to really just blow up the bubbles no matter what, meaning you are going to be rocking full charge all the time. Now, once again, you play into higher elo, you play into, Diamond, Masters. You start getting up there, people are a little bit more mindful of these things, but not when you're in bronze. People will blow your bubble up. You'll be rocking full charge, and you will be balling. So, yeah, go ahead and play some Zarya. Let's talk about Orisa. Orisa's going A tier. I think Orisa's pretty good. The Warhorse is not dead, but not my pick of the patch. Just really good overall. Can't go wrong with her. Anna, B tier. Anna's good, but there are better picks. Echo. Echo stays A. Like Echo quite a bit. Honestly, could be close to my pick of the patch for DPS. She feels extremely reliable and extremely consistent. Just really like her. My bias pick, Ashe goes A tier. Still think she's the best hit scan at the moment. Most consistent. The only thing she struggles with is dive and, high mobility comps if you're not great at hitting people that are on the move. But if you aren't hitting people on the move, well, probably Ashe isn't the best character to play anyway. You're better off with one of the easier DPS. But yeah, overall, she feels pretty good. Pharah's going in B tier due to the reluctance of people to play a lot of hit scan recently. This is just anecdotal and a personal experience, but I haven't seen as much McCree and Soldier, and Ashe is never felt as popular as McCree and Soldier to me as far as what happens in Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Platinum. That makes Pharah extremely oppressive. If the enemy team refuses to switch to hit scan, I would say abuse the Pharah pick as much as you possibly can, because people will just get absolutely rolled, and I don't know what has gone on recently, but people will refuse to switch. Still think Pharah is obviously easily counterable, but situational. Once again, B tier. Winston. Winston's A. I like Winston a lot, and you know what? I'm also going to put D.Va in A. I have felt fantastic with these two recently. Played a lot of tank, more than I usually play. Normally I just resort to my tank players' opinions on the tank placements, but I've played quite a bit recently, and I think D.Va and Winston are fantastic. Like the way they feel in-game, and honestly, the only thing keeping them away from pick of the patch is that the character I'm going to put as the pick of the patch for tank is just somebody I recommend to low elo players no matter how meta he is, and I will continue to do that unless he becomes completely terrible. Hog, those nerfs hurt him a lot. I played him quite a bit. Still think he's aight. I think he goes down a tier with those nerfs. Baptiste, I'm going to save him for a little bit. Let's save him. Bastion, moving Bastion up to the B tier. I've run into some decent Bastion players, and I think in the current tank meta, if you play Bastion into a team composition that works, and if you play him with teammates around you that know how to play with Bastion, he could be pretty good. Kiriko, oh no, she's gutted. I posted in my thumbnail that she's cooked. Yeah, I don't really feel like she's that bad, guys. It's not that nerf was decently chunky, but I'm putting her from S to A. I don't think it's a gut. I think it just forces you to use Suzu more consistently. And honestly just makes the ability what it was probably originally designed to be. She went from being the most broken, easily recommendable support to just really good, which I think is fair. It's good. It was a good patch. Sojourn is going to come back in a minute. Gangu. Gangu is C tier. I don't know why I forgot about him, probably because I'm so zoomed in on this, but he's going C. Maga. Maga's going A. I like Maga a lot. Please, though, when you're playing with some bad healers, don't pick Maga. Maga gets absolutely annihilated if you don't have healing. He's a little bit less self-sufficient, but especially on defense and places where you can hunker down, I think Maga can be one of the most oppressive picks. This is the same as everybody else. No one to switch. He's not a trick-all, but he's also just still really damn good. Sigma. I always recommend Sigma. Love Sigma for low elo players. Easy to play, hard to master, great skill ceiling. You can play him through all ranks. He doesn't fall off. He's good into a lot of matchups. I can't go wrong with Sigma. Lifeweaver, to me, is one of the weaker characters in the game. Save his ult being extremely useful and extremely strong. Still think I would recommend mostly any other support over him. So he's going to stay down in C tier, guys. Oh, man. Moira. Moira's going A. I think I had her in B last time. Actually, no, I had her in A last time. I still think she's an A tier support. Still think she is really good, and I honestly would consider putting her for the pick of the patch if there weren't for the fact that I think one is a little bit more consistently better. Lucio stays A. He's fitting really well with a lot of the dive tanks that we're seeing right now, and honestly, just overall can pair well with a lot of the current meta characters. Lucio is pretty good. Can't go wrong with him. But Reinhardt goes S. No, sadly, I think Ryan goes in B tier. I thought we'd be seeing a little bit more of a resurgence of Ryan. He's still just alright, man. He's still just fine. I just keep him in B. Tracer's A. Probably one of the few times I haven't had her in S in most of these patch notes. I just feel like there are better picks right now. Not by like a mile, but I just think she's just about as good as the other A tier DPS. But if you're going to pick a character that you want to absolutely master down to a T and climb to top 500, pick Tracer. She's always meta. She's ridiculously self-sufficient, but also really hard. So I usually don't recommend her for low elo players compared to some of these other people. But you can absolutely massacre people with Tracer if you're good at her. Oh, Bushinza, why did I miss you? Oh, I don't even really care. I don't have any opinion on Mei. She goes C. I don't think she has any place in the meta right now. I haven't seen her used for much of anything. I don't pull her out for much, and most of the things that I would think to use her for, I use somebody else. She's not my favorite. All right, picks of the patch, guys. Picks of the patch. Sojourn, S tier. Still think Sojourn is one of the best solo carry. I like that they changed her, but honestly, I don't feel like it really affected her as much as I thought it was going to. Still feels good. Feels a little bit different to play. Get a good feel for how the changes have affected her, but still feels pretty good in the hands. Baptiste goes in S tier, not because I think he's really that broken. He's not like that much better than most of the characters that I have below him. Just feels like you can almost never go wrong picking Baptiste, which is why he's my pick of the patch. I always do a pick of the patch now. And Baptiste just can't be, you can't really do bad with Baptiste. He's got good healing, he's got AoE healing, he's got the immortality field, he's got a good ult. He's got a lot of things going for him, and I just think you're pretty much safe picking Bap every game. Which is again why I'm going to run Ramattra into the pick of the patch. Do I think Ramattra is miles ahead of Maga, D.Va, Winston, Orisa? No. Ramattra goes in S tier for one particular reason, that when I'm recommending characters to low elo people to learn, Ramattra is all around good. He's been meta consistently for a long time, and he hasn't had really a patch where he's felt terrible. He's got a high skill ceiling, low-ish skill floor, and honestly can overtake a game with at least some decent healing. If you have decent supports, Ramattra can absolutely run through people. So Ramattra stays S tier for pick the patch this time instead of Orisa. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching the tier list and bearing with me for my I'm a little tired right now. I'm not feeling fantastic. But I wanted to get this out there for you guys to help you out. So if you guys enjoyed this, comment down below what you think. If you disagree, please do comment. We've changed positions before based on opinions that we've seen, and honestly, I am mostly a DPS player, so opinions on supports and tanks especially are always welcome. I do have a support and tank player on the channel that I usually confirm a lot of my opinions with this, but honestly, we'd love to hear more opinions as well, so comment down below, tell me what you think, and stay tuned for more Overwatch and more stuff in general. Thank you guys for watching.